January 21st, 2016. Memorial of St. Agnes, Virgin and Martyr.
A reading from the first book of Samuel. When David and Saul approached, on David's return after slaying the Philistine, women came out from each of the cities of Israel to meet King Saul, singing and dancing with tambourines, joyful songs, and sistrums. The women played and sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s." Saul was very angry and resentful of the song, for he thought, "They give David 10,000s, but only thousands to me. All that remains for him is the kingship." And from that day on, Saul was jealous of David. Saul discussed his intention of killing David with his son Jonathan and with all his servants. But Saul's son Jonathan, who was very fond of David, told him, "My father Saul is trying to kill you. Therefore, please be on your guard tomorrow morning. Get out of sight and remain in hiding. I, however, will go out and stand beside my father in the countryside where you are, and will speak to him about you. If I learn anything, I will let you know." Jonathan then spoke well of David to his father Saul, saying to him, "Let not your majesty sin against his servant David, for he has committed no offense against you, but has helped you very much by his deeds. When he took his life in his hands and slew the Philistine, and the Lord brought about a great victory for all Israel through him, you were glad to see it. Why then should you become guilty of shedding innocent blood by killing David without cause?" Saul heeded Jonathan's plea and swore, "As the Lord lives, he shall not be killed." So Jonathan summoned David and repeated the whole conversation to him. Jonathan then brought David to Saul, and David served him as before. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm, the response is, "In God I trust, I shall not fear." Have mercy on me, O God, for men trample upon me. All the day they press their attack against me. My adversaries trample upon me all the day. Yes, many fight against me. In God I trust, I shall not fear. My wanderings you have counted. My tears are stored in your flask. Are they not recorded in your book? Then do my enemies turn back when I call upon you. In God I trust, I shall not fear. Now I know that God is with me, in God in whose promise I glory. In God I trust without fear. What can flesh do against me? In God I trust, I shall not fear. I am bound, O God, by vows to you. Your thank offerings I will fulfill. You have rescued me from death, my feet too from stumbling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living. In God I trust, I shall not fear.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus withdrew toward the sea with his disciples. A large number of people followed from Galilee and from Judea. Hearing what he was doing, a large number of people came to him also from Jerusalem, from Idumea, from beyond the Jordan, and from the neighborhood of Tyre and Sidon. He told his disciples to have a boat ready for him because of the crowd, so that they would not crush him. He had cured many, and as a result, those who had diseases were pressing upon him to touch him. And whenever unclean spirits saw him, they would fall down before him and shout, "You are the Son of God." He warned them sternly not to make him known. The Gospel of the Lord.
January 21st, the Memorial of St. Agnes, Virgin and Martyr. The first reading comes from 1 Samuel 18, 6-9, and 19, 1-7. As David returns from battle, the people sing out, Saul has killed his thousands, and David has killed his 10,000s. And Saul becomes very jealous because they attribute to David 10,000 while they only attribute to Saul thousands. He becomes paranoid. He searches for a way to do harm to David. Well, he mentions this to Jonathan, his son, and Jonathan is a very close friend of David. So Jonathan promises David to intercede for him and, in a sense, to be a spy for him. Notice that this friendship between Jonathan and David is very close. And Jonathan is even willing to betray his father because he knows that his father is doing what is wrong. He's doing what is sinful in hating and wanting to kill David. Well, he manages to talk his father into taking David back, and in fact, peace is restored. But it's only temporary because over and over again, Saul will get a bad mood upon him. In fact, when David was younger, it said that David was called into court to play music that would calm Saul down during one of his black moods. Well, over and over again, Saul will erupt into anger and even violence against David, trying to kill him. The Gospel is from Mark 3, 7-12. Jesus is becoming famous in the entire region. We hear about people coming from Jerusalem, Idumea, beyond the Jordan, even Tyre and Sidon. Those last three are areas where a lot of pagans live, so it's obvious that Jesus' fame is extending not only to the Jewish people but also to pagans. Because he is teaching an authentic message, because he is performing signs which authenticates his message, which shows that he has the very authority of God, people come to hear him. And in fact, some come, and when unclean spirits see him, they fall down and shout out, "You are the Son of God." Now this is the second time in the Gospel of Mark where that title appears, the Son of God. In the Old Testament, normally the title Son of God means a hero. Prophets are called sons of God, kings are called sons of God. But in the Gospel of Mark, it takes on a new meaning. We hear it at the very beginning of the Gospel, we hear it here, and then we hear it when the centurion is standing under the cross and sees Jesus die and says, "Truly this was the Son of God." Now that's a very important passage because centurions were pagans. If a Jew had said that under the cross, it would simply mean this was a hero of God. But the centurion being a pagan, pagans believe that their gods can have children. So when he says Son of God, he's basically saying what we believe about Jesus. He's the only begotten Son of God from all eternity. And therefore, it's obvious that the Gospel of Mark believes that Jesus is the Son of God, as we believe it. These demons are able to recognize this early in the Gospel because they're spiritual creatures. They can see beyond the humanity of Jesus to what lies inside, his divinity. How does Jesus respond to the demons? He sternly tells them not to make him known. Because again, he wants the people to listen to his message and not get caught up with the idea that he's a miracle worker, that he's so extraordinary that he has nothing to do with them. He wants to fully identify with them so that they understand that his mission is to be the Son of Man, that one who dies for their sins and then will be raised. And may God bless us.